Hello everyone, this is Defense Politics Asia, and this is the Frontline Changes report for the past 2 days. Because yesterday I went on a very short holiday, a 2-day, 1-night holiday of sorts, and now I have lost my train of thought. But anyway, so the Frontline Changes report. So we're gonna jump straight to the first Frontline Change, and a lot of things happened over the past 2 days. The first is over in the Sumy front. So this is Sumy. And over in the Sumy front, there's a report from the Russian side saying that the Ukrainian forces have retaken Basilivka. So after that, it seems to have somewhat backtracked a bit on this, but they put it as a somewhat of a gray zone. So I'm just gonna take this original one as the primary one, and the advance is around 1.4 kilometers. So this is a battle zone. The fighting is still ongoing. So we do not know what the hell is happening for now. Very pointless place to fight over, but yeah, it is what it is. Welcome to war. The next frontline change is over at Oleksievka. The Ukrainian forces, so this one is the main battlefront in the Sumy front. The Ukrainian forces tried to counterattack towards Oleksievka, and so the Russian mapping have considered that they have lost one of the major tree lines south of Oleksievka due to the Ukrainian counterattack. So the fighting is still ongoing as well. The advance is only around 400 meters. Not only, it's actually pretty distant, like 400 meters. That's a full range of a rifle. So that's a situation over at Oleksievka. And so that's the frontline change in this sector. The next one, we have to jump all the way to Kupansk front. And at the Kupansk front, some major updates have happened around the Kupansk city. The most important one is this piece here. Deep State UA, the pro-Ukrainian mapping have updated, and actually very belatedly, maybe the information is not only just confirmed, or maybe now then the reality has caught up to the announcement that the Russian forces have actually taken most part of Moskovka and reached all the way to the edge of the forest at Sobolevka. So this is the Ukrainian mapping, and a lot of these infrastructures like the industrial zone in the north, and some of the industrial buildings, the suburbs in the northwest of Kupiansk, half of Moskovka, and all the way to the forest of Sobolevka is now all under Russian control. And previously the Russians were geolocated at Sobolevka, but that was such a weird geolocation. We did not really reflect it on the map anymore. Similar, there's another one here which I did indicate because this is a bit more possible that it is a firm control. And there is a geolocation of Russian forces at this position, and this also means that for the Russians to reach that position means that this neighborhood here in the north of Kupiansk is also all under Russian control, and this links up all the way to the river. So which means the Russians have made some massive progress in the north of Kupiansk city, on the western bank, because there's a river around here in case you cannot see the river. And so this western side of the city is now under major siege, and the theory of the Russian flanking operation in the western flank to cut off the roads to force the Ukrainian withdrawal is becoming a reality right now. So we have been waiting for this for a long time. So suddenly, and we all thought that it's already like not true, and now the Ukrainian mapping suddenly shocked us with it's true. Reminds me of it's real and it's not real. Nothing to do with the country, no pun intended. So the advance here is pretty big. The one all the way to Sobolevka is around 2.8 kilometers, almost 2.9 kilometers. This is a very big advance. North of Kupiansk, this advance is around 700 meters, and the one over on the north side is 1.4 kilometers. So these are all very big advances around Kupiansk city, and there's a high chance that the Russians may have a much bigger capture than we previously know. Because of this geolocation that we have noted previously, this entire area may be under Russian control. It's currently under the fog of war. We have no idea whether this is the case, but let's see how this goes. So the next frontline change after this shocking Kupiansk one is over in the Oskil front. So this is Oskil, and over in the east of Oskil, there's this place called Novomihailivka. Ukrainian forces have successfully, or somewhat, this is a claim. There is a geolocation though. The Ukrainians were geolocated here. But it was an ill-fated geolocation. I mean, the armored vehicle was destroyed. Is it an armored vehicle or what vehicle is that? I forgot. Motorized rifle unit landing vehicle was burnt. So yeah, whatever it is, it still means that the Ukrainians are here, and the Ukrainian mapping have mapped it even bigger. This is also somewhat corroborated by the Russian mapping, but the Russian mapping put this as a gray zone. They didn't put this as a capture. So the whatever it is, the Ukrainian forces allegedly and probably most likely captured Novomihailivka along with all the forests surrounding it, and so this advance is pretty significant. The advance is around 800 meters to the deepest point, probably around 1 kilometer to 1.4 kilometers. So this is a pretty major counterattack for the Ukrainians, and yeah, so another great success for the Ukrainians. Ukraine is winning, and so that's all from Novomihailivka. The next frontline change, we go to Bilakhora. So over in the Toretsk front. So this is Toretsk, and this is in this sector here in the north of Toretsk, we have Bilakhora and Oleksandro-Shutiny. So the Russian forces was geolocated here. Another one was here. So this means that Russian forces have advanced north of Bilakhora, securing the north of Bilakhora, taking all the tree lines over there, as well as expanding the zone of control around Oleksandro-Shutiny. Which means Oleksandro-Shutiny is very close to full capture. So just to zoom in a bit, you can see the tree lines. This is the one that is being taken by the Russian forces, and of course a little bit left of the Oleksandro-Shutiny with Russian forces geolocated around here, marking the further advance in this sector here. So that's all from this sector. The one at Bilakhora, this distance is around 900 meters, around there. The advance at Oleksandro-Shutiny is around 300 meters. So that's a estimate. So that's all from Oleksandro-Shutiny. The next frontline change, we go to the Pokrovsk region. And this is actually quite a major one. So over the Pokrovsk, there is a geolocation of Russian forces at this position. And due to the tide of war and the trend of the things happening all around here, I have decided to mark it in a very ambiguous way, so less conservative, because there is good reasons to believe that this is actually possible. So that so I forgot my WhatsApp. Yeah, so the Russian forces most likely have taken all of these positions in the south of Pokrovsk, so marking a big advance of the Russian forces. This is already something that was suspected by some of the pro-Russian open source intelligence, which I do not put it as trusted sources, but I do know that some of them have marked some big mappings in Pokrovsk. But this is a very high possibility of Russian forces having a strong positions around here already. So we will continue to monitor. The Battle of Pokrovsk is very, very weird. It has no hallmark of the fighting that's happening in or happened in Toretsk, Popasna, Mariupol, like even Severodonetsk, Adiyevka, none. The Battle of Pokrovsk is super weird. It's super weird. It's like, everybody is just playing hide and seek, and that's it. It's like a massive, death risking hide and seek. That's it. So let's see how this continues to fight on. That doesn't look like a lot of people is involved in the Battle of Pokrovsk. Everybody is just playing hide and seek, like I said. So that's all from the hide and seek grounds of Pokrovsk. A lot of people very angry with me not pronouncing the SK. Pokrovsk. The next frontline change after Pokrovsk is at the Komar front. So Komar front, this is Komar, and this entire sector here has collapsed. Not in a total sense, in a very sporadic here and there sense. So this is all the frontline changes here. Russian forces geolocated at Voronezh, which means the Russian forces have actually went down along the river of Melievka and advanced, in this a big flanking movement in the north. The Russian forces also have secured Shevchenko over on the southeast of Melievka. This one moving in the direction of Komar we have already reported over the last Frontline Changes report 2 days ago. This was already noted. So this Shevchenko one is a new one. And then around Novohiyohievka, the Russian forces have confirmed to have expanded the zone of control. This is mapped by Deep State UA. And so Ukrainian mapping actually confirmed that the Russian forces have actually expanded the zone of control. And this alone is a pincer attack on Komar. So this is already one. Yet that it could also be another one developing, a bigger one that's developing in the north and the south from Novohiyohievka to Voronezh. That is also possibly happening. Another one is based on geolocation. Multiple geolocations of Russian forces at Zaporizhzhia confirmed the Russians' full capture of Zaporizhzhia. So this capture is already confirmed by the Russian Defense Ministry, I think. And also, this is confirmed by geolocation, so it definitely have already confirmed to have happened. And which means Russian forces can now attack the Ternova, hit to Berezdove, and Berezove, and also attack into Novomykolaivka. And yeah, this is developing into a salient. This is a terrible place now. And all these pincers are all currently happening. So it's like there is frontline collapses in this sector, but it also doesn't feel like it's a total collapse of the entire front line. There is certain parts like let's see, use another color. This part has broken. This part has broken, but then it's not fully broken because the Ukrainian forces seems to able to hold it, and then this part has broken. Yeah, so it is a bit of here and there, and maybe the Ukrainians are reinforcing certain breakthroughs, but then the Russians start to break through from the other area. This could also be a sign of possible manpower issue in the sector on the Ukrainian side. On the bright side is that the Ukrainians have a massive fortification in this sector here. This one whole line of like some kind of a defense line. Another one big one back up behind. So a lot of defense lines around here. But I think the main thing is because of the Voronezh, the Russians could potentially attack into the rear positions, rendering the entire fortifications useless. But we shall see how this continue to develop. So anyway, these are all the frontline changes. For the distance, I just want to show you Voronezh. This is already at least 4 kilometers advanced. Around Zaporizhzhia, this is 3 kilometers, almost 3 kilometers advanced. Over at Novohiyohievka is around 1.17. At Shevchenko is around 1.4. So these are different degrees of collapses. We have all of them here. So pick and buy or choose. We have a 50% discount buying on Alibaba right now. So just joking. So anyway, and you have to pay for the tariff. No. The Chinese are gonna pay for the tariff because you buy from Alibaba. Yeah, never mind. It's okay. Terrible joke. So let's do some calculation of the total area captured by the Russian forces. Oh no, I pulled the wrong thing. It's the calculator. So yeah. So I did. So let's do some calculation. I'm going to pull up these numbers. Sorry for the cough. I just now paused the videos quite a number of times because I'm going to cough. But yeah. So the Ukrainians captured. So the last frontline changes is 2 days ago. The Russians captured 9.02 square kilometers. Ukrainians did not capture anything. So let's count the Ukrainian one first. 4.28 plus 1.87. So it's 6.15 square kilometers captured by the Ukrainian forces. So this 6.15, and so decent. And the Russian forces captured 6.15. Literally the same number. Plus 1.82 plus 5.49 plus 17.54. Total area captured is 31 square kilometers. which means that the total area captured per day is around 15.5 square kilometers. So it's in the 20 square kilometers range, and obviously there is more, more possible changes that is not reflected on mapping. Like I mentioned, the entire eastern bank of Kupiansk is a suspect. So the Russians are still progressing, and they are capturing more grounds, so which means Ukraine is winning. Happy birthday to you if your birthday today. Press the like button, subscribe, and I'll see you guys in the next update. Subscribe. Bye guys.